Hello, welcome to Radiant Resilience. I'm Torrey. This video, I'm going to be taking you through a little technique that's a self-massage technique to release tension out of your shoulders, and in the process, it also helps your neck because it's all connected. Now, if you're anything like me, you hold tension in your neck and shoulders. I tend to get those kind of knots in between my shoulder blades, which kind of ends up pressing on nerves, and then I get headaches and stuff. So this is a great way to alleviate all of that. I'm going to be showing you how to do it with a pair of rolled up socks. You can always use balls, like a tennis ball or a racquetball. The problem with those is they tend to be pretty firm, and this can feel really intense. So what happens is people will tense up because of how extreme the pressure from the ball is, which is sort of defeating the purpose, because for this we're really trying to soften and relax. If you have about that size, a squishier kind of therapy ball, that would be good too. The nice thing about socks is you usually have them even when you're traveling. So I know when I'm traveling, I tend to get kind of tight in my neck and shoulders, and having a pair of socks handy is always a good thing. Okay, when you're rolling up your pair of socks, you want to have have it be fairly firm and compact. So you don't want real squishy or tight or small like exercise socks. This is a wool cotton blend that I have rolled up pretty tight so that there's some firmness and some volume to it. When we come down, I'll be telling you what to do, but I'm going to show you where we're going to go with this first. So there's going to be 3 spots on each side of your spine that we're going to be working. And when we're doing this, you want to make sure you're in between your shoulder blade and your spine. You're not going to be on either one, right in that channel in between. We're going to do 3 heights. So we'll start at the lowest spot. And that's here's the bottom tip of my shoulder blade. That's about where you want to be, in between the shoulder blade and the spine at the bottom tip. We're going to do something right there, and then we're going to come up to that mid height, kind of the middle height of your shoulder blade, and then up one more time to that top height. All right? I'll show you what to do with that as we come down. So first, I just want you to lie down in constructive rest pose, feet on the floor with your knees bent, arms comfortably away from your sides. And we're going to take 2 sighs. Take a deep breath in, sigh your breath out, and soften your belly and your low back. And then do another one of those. Inhale in through your nose, relax it out, and let your shoulders melt. Back of the neck is long. And now just check in. Notice the connection your body has to the floor. Specifically, I want you to notice the way your upper back, your rib cage, your shoulder blades, your shoulders are touching the floor, as well as the back of your head and the backs of the arms. And notice the places where there's a little more pressure or heaviness, the places where there's more lightness. And also compare right and left side. So you might find different places are connecting on each side, like your shoulder blades might be connecting in different spots, or the back of your hands or arms might be connecting differently from your right to your left. So we're going to compare this again after we do this release work. Okay, so from there, you're going to take your socks, and we'll start on the right side just to keep everything clear. And you're going to bring it in between the shoulder blade and the spine at that bottom tip position of your shoulder blade. Okay. All right. So you can see how if you're using something a little harder, this could be a lot, right? So you want lift your hips up, lengthen your tailbone towards your heels, and then bring your hips back down. Arms are comfortably away from your sides with your palms up. And notice, did you start to tense up anywhere? Sometimes, especially with a ball, people will kind of arch their back to avoid the sensation of the ball. Socks are a little bit easier, so you're just going to soften into this with a sigh. And then very gently start to rock your head side to side. Okay, now you're going to turn your head to the left. Keep it there. So you're turning your head away from your socks, and then slide the right arm, so the sock side, slide that side up to a T position. Take a big sigh here. And then as you bring your head back to center, slide the arm up by the side of your head. Now I know not everybody's going to be able to keep their arm on the floor as they do that. So if your arm is up and it doesn't feel like it's hurting you or it's sharp, you can do that. Or maybe you just don't raise the arm up as high and keep the arm on the floor. I actually kind of prefer that because then that allows you to soften rather than being up here and being all tight trying to hold your arm up. Okay, so just come into wherever that is and take one more sigh. All right, slide the arm back down to where it started, and then we're going to move your socks up to the mid height and then lay back down. So that once you have that sequence down, it's pretty easy. So you're going to lay back down and just try to soften over your socks. If you feel yourself tightening anywhere, a sigh is also always helpful. And then start to rock your head side to side. Also notice if your chin is way up, see if you can lengthen the back of your neck out so your chin drops down, and then rock your head side to side. Okay, turn your head away from the socks. So in this case, you're turning your head to the left and then sliding the right arm out to a T position. And then just take a sigh here. Soften, melt over your socks as much as you can. Bringing your head to center and then start to slide the arm up. Only as high as you're able to go without ever going into anything sharp or painful. I mean, there's a certain amount of discomfort here, but you don't want to feel pain where you're hurting yourself, right? Okay, and then bring the arm slowly, slide it back down. Now we're going to go up to that highest spot. So high up on the shoulder blade, but not to where it's poking out the top, right? Back of the neck is long, arms are comfortably down, palms up, and just relax over your socks. Take a sigh. And then rock the head side to side again. Turn your head to the left. Slide the right arm to a T. Relax over your socks and sigh. And then as the head centers, bring the arm up by the side of your head. Couple of deep breaths or a sigh right here. And then bring the arm back down. And then with your left hand, just reach up and move your socks out from underneath you. Coming onto your back again, and just notice that side versus the side we haven't done yet. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. So now we're going to be in between the spine and the shoulder blade on your left side. Start at that bottom tip of the shoulder blade. Arms down, lift your hips up, lengthen out your tailbone, and then drop your hips back down. And then come back. Take a sigh. Rock your head side to side. Are you tightening anywhere? If so, try to relax or soften. Now, we're turning our head away from the socks, so turning your head to the right. Slide your left arm to that T position and sigh again. And then head centers, glide the arm up. And when you find your place where you have to stop, you're going to hold there, breathe nice and deep, or maybe do another sigh. And then slide the arm back down. Okay, now we're going to go up to that middle height, a little bit higher. That spot feels a little tender for me. Okay, and then take your sigh. Rock your head side to side. And then turn your head to the right away from your socks. Slide your left arm to that T position and sigh again. Head centers, arm slides up. Deep, slow breaths or another sigh. So, and then come back down. Arm comes back down. Okay, and then we're going to go up to that highest place, that third height, coming back down onto it. Oh, my left side is definitely more tender than my right. So once you get there, take a sigh. And then rock head side to side. And then head turns away from the socks, head turns to the right, left arm goes out to a T position. Big breath in, relax it out. Head centers, arm comes up. Woo. Deep breaths. And then bring the arm back down. Take another breath. And then move your socks out from underneath you. And come onto your back again. Notice the difference from when you first checked in, when you first started noticing how your body was connecting to the floor. Chances are you'll feel like you have a lot more of the surface of your body drop down into the floor. And if you did notice some unevenness from one side to the other, that might have corrected some as well. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to show you, and this is just a bonus, you don't have to do it with the sequence, but it's kind of nice. So if you noticed any spot that was particularly tender along that channel, bring your socks back underneath. So my spot was in that center height, but yours might be in a different spot. Bring it back into that area, wherever it was, or it could be just a little bit below or above those three spots that we hit. Maybe there's another spot that you feel like you need to get to. You're going to come into it, bring the socks underneath there, and then little lift of your hips, not very high. It's not like you're coming into a bridge. You're just lifting your hips up a little and then kind of moving them side to side so that we're kind of shearing that area by moving the body. Oh, I just hit an area. That is definitely a trigger point for me. So this is another way of just kind of working into it. If you don't like that arm movement, maybe this is a better solution for you. And then go ahead and come into it. Could even do a little forward and back and release down. And then we'll come off. And then if you had another spot on the other side, we're going to go to that other side. And there's that area that I noticed the first time around. And then lift hips up. Arms are still away from the sides comfortably. Maybe not all the way out to the side, but maybe a little lower than that. Palms up. And then just start to move your hips side to side a little bit. Ooh. So the nice thing about the socks is you can do this, every day because the socks are giving enough. And then maybe do a little swinging or a little pulsing forward and back. Just kind of working into it. If you're using a ball, you don't want to do this for too long or too often because then you can start to bruise some of the tissue or just make it get inflamed, which is counterproductive. I've showed this to people with a ball before, and some people get a little too enthusiastic and they overdo it, and then it ends up they feel really sore afterwards. The socks are a little more forgiving. Okay, and then go ahead, come down, move your socks out, come on to your back again one last time to see how things are feeling. Let's rock the head side to side. And then just to feel kind of the range in your shoulders, you can keep your arms long or you could do a little slight bend. We're just going to very slowly, like you're doing snow angels with your arms. And just notice how that's feeling. And sometimes this will glide a little more and you'll have a little more range of motion. All right, and then bring the arms back down and take on one more side. A little rocking your head side to side again. And then go ahead and roll over and bring yourself up to a seated position. So that is a little technique that you can do to massage out some of that tension in your shoulders, which will also end up helping your neck. I hope you found this helpful. And just let me know how you liked it, or if you have any questions. I'm always open to discussing more or even covering a different topic if you think of that. I really appreciate the time you spent with me, and I wish you a very wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.